Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli back with another review video, the third and final part of my review of She-Hulk, Law at Eternity, Eternity at Law. I got it backwards. Alright, so, yep, the third and final part, as I said, the last 4 episodes, that's right. Episodes 6, 7, 8, and 9. So, and I think it's one of the first Marvel shows to have about 9 episodes. Yeah, so normally, like, they've had 6. All right, but episode 6, Jen... Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. I'm reading the description first. Just Jen. In episode 6, Jen is a bridesmaid in a friend's wedding, a stressful event compounded by uniquely She-Hulk issues. I think I said that one word wrong. I apologize. I like how when the logo shows, because even, like, because she breaks the fourth wall, she talks to us like, you know, should be just titled Just Jen. And we see it. The logo shows it says Just Jen. Eternity at Law. That is funny. So, so yeah, on that one, because, yeah, Jen, she attends a friend's wedding. But not only is that happening, 2 of, you know, Jen's friends, and who are also working and such, Mallory and Nikki, they're dealing with this one guy who basically can't kill himself. Like, he can't die. Like, he's had like 4 ex-wives. I think it's Georgie Nassif St. John. He plays the ex-husband. I'm pretty sure. Or no, let me see. It's it's Mr. Immortal. I'm sorry, Mr. Immortal, played by David Pasek. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but Mr. Immortal. He's basically immortal. He can't kill himself, and he has a couple of ex-wives, you know, and that was pretty funny. And even say when Titania, she crashed, well, the wedding. I mean, well, technically she didn't crash. She was there at the wedding because of it was I think it was her, like, you know, I think it was Heather, I believe. Well, can't really remember, but oh well. But I thought this was pretty funny, not to mention, like, those moments with, like, at the wedding, like, Titania just basically, she's not finished with Jennifer, you know, aka She-Hulk, and just because, like, Jennifer, I guess, is kind of drunk, you know, and she has the booze, like Titania just beating her to the ground and just getting her to transform. And of course she does transform and just, you know, kicks her butt, you know. But also, in this episode, like, Jennifer does find somebody. Like, somebody is at the wedding and does like her for who she is, and that being Josh Miller, played by Trevor Salter. No, I think that's Salter. That sounds about right. And so, yeah, it seems like they kind of hit it off and such, and, yeah, it was a pretty funny episode, definitely. And, especially when we come up to, episode 7, The Retreat. Jen visits Blancy's, wellness retreat, meets new friends, and gets in touch with her inner She-Hulk. Now in this, yeah, we do see that, well, Jennifer and Josh, they do a lot together, and as I said, he likes for who she is, not just for She-Hulk, you know, likes her for who she is, you know, the actual Jennifer. And yeah, again, Emil Blonsky, yeah, he returns, of course, Tim Roth, and, you know, Jennifer, after, like, say, Jennifer and Josh, you know, they hit it off, and the next day, like, he's gone, and she's texted him thousands of times, like, day by day, like, she never hears from him, and then eventually, like, goes to Emil's place, and a bunch of, like, characters in this, like, there's El Aguila, if I'm saying that right, played by Joseph Castillo Midyet. And there's the Wrecker. We see the Wrecker again, because I totally forgot to mention this. In one of the last episodes, Wrecker and a bunch of other, like, guys, they had a bunch of powerful, like, weapons, and they were basically ambushing Jennifer at her apartment. And then Wrecker, the leader of that group, he comes back, and he's kind of changed, you know, and played by Nick Gomez. And then there was Thunderball. played by Justin Eden. Oh, yeah, I think, I'm on IMDb, so this is kind of, I wish that, this would be helpful for the pictures, you know what I'm saying? So, But anyways, and then there was, oh yeah, there was, because the introduction of El Aguila, at one point he was fighting with Man Bull. Literally, that's his name, Man Bull, played by Nathan Hurd. And obviously these characters who were seen for the first time, and you know what? We don't really know that much on them until, like, now, because the MCU introducing some characters that we haven't really are familiar or heard about before. We know that they come from the comics, so there's Man Bull, and then there's the Porcupine, who, he doesn't really look like a porcupine. I mean, maybe just about, but, it's like he's wearing that, like, camouflage kind of gear, you know what I'm saying? But he is supposed to be the Porcupine, played by Jordan Aaron Ford. Then there was, there was Terrence Clow. He plays Saracen. I think I got that right. And, even, I think that even at one point they were encouraging, Jennifer to just, like, delete the contact information such of Josh, and Jennifer does, of course, and, I thought that was pretty good and funny, too, especially with some of the characters in this, especially, because, even when the Porcupine, he takes off his mask, it kind of kind of has a bad smell, and even Emil, like, suggesting to take, like, his costume should be taken to the dry cleaners. It was funny. So I thought this one was pretty good too, and we get more of Emil. Then after that, we come to, this was a pretty good one too, Episode 8, Ribbit and Rip It. Yeah, that's the title, and you have to say it like, Ribbit and Rip It, because in Episode 8, description, that She-Hulk represents Leapfrog, who was injured due to a malfunction in his costume-made supersuit. Yeah, I heard about Leapfrog before, before this episode came out, and a little bit earlier, maybe, like, say, as the show began. I really can't remember, but I heard about that, and I had to look it up and such, and yep, Leapfrog, he too comes from the comics as well. He is real. So, and at first I was thinking, okay, so is Leapfrog this kind of, like, weird, random superhero? Even, like, saying the comics, but no, he actually isn't. He's the bad guy. So, but what's great about this episode is, there was a bit of an outfall between Jennifer and her tailor, Luke Jacobson, once again played by Griffin Matthews. And they're in court, and, and of course Leapfrog, because Luke made the suit for Leapfrog. And that was, Leapfrog, played by Brandon Stanley. Luke's lawyer is none other than Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Daredevil, Charlie Cox. He's once again back. And we do see him in the Daredevil costume, although it's different this time. It's gold and a bit red, And even one say, because Daredevil was after Leapfrog, and at first, Jennifer was on Leapfrog's side, and she was taking a stand for him, and She-Hulk, we finally see her in the suit that we've all been waiting for, the white and purple suit, and, she takes on Daredevil, but the thing is, he does tell She-Hulk that, Jennifer that is, that Leapfrog is the bad guy, and I think if I recall, she said, you didn't tell me, why didn't you tell me before we fought, and, said, you didn't ask me a question, or however Daredevil said it, and I'm like, you should have told her already! You should have told her instead of waiting for her to ask a question. Who does that? Especially because of this. So, of course, Jennifer and Murdock, as She-Hulk and Daredevil, they go after Leapfrog at his headquarters, at his secret place, the Lily Pad? Yeah, literally, that's the name of that building, Lily Pad. And he has Luke Jacobson held prisoner and Luke is being forced upon to make a new, suit for Leapfrog. And of course, eventually, Jennifer and Matt, they break in and they save Luke and, Leapfrog. He at one point tries to escape, but he jumps out, he breaks out of the window, but he just breaks his legs. What was he thinking? And yeah, even a little bit earlier, right before they were about to go in, to fight Leapfrog's henchmen, Daredevil is telling She-Hulk that, he can hear the heartbeats of all the henchmen, and he's listening to her heartbeat, and it's beating fast, and that kind of detects, She-Hulk has a crush on Daredevil. And yeah, near the end of the episode, they do, they hit it off, basically. And this one shot, and now I get it, because the next day he's walking after, leaving her place, and he doesn't have his boots on. He's walking feetless, barefoot. That became a meme, as I recall. I've been seeing that, the walk like the Beatles from that album. Yeah, so that's it. And at the end of that episode, Jennifer is to receive an award, for best lawyer and so on. And it's not just her, it's more than, it's everybody wins, basically. But that's when it gets interrupted. Basically, the whole ceremony, the award presentation, the whole thing, and even as She-Hulk is making her speech, it gets entirely interrupted as, the screen, it gets hacked and basically exposes She-Hulk and Josh being involved. And that's another thing, too. Even I predicted this. I called it. I knew this. And I'm sure I couldn't be the only one that predicted this. Josh was not really a good guy. And he basically stole some of Jennifer's Hawk DNA. You know what I'm saying? The blood and so on. And that really sparked Jennifer as the She-Hulk, destroying and, trashing the place. And, she even saw some of the bad guys wearing, bandits. They were, I guess, taking pictures of her, and she caught one of them. But that's when, the security guards or whatever, they have the guns pointed at them, and she is looking at us, and she's just I thought she was going to say something, but nope, that's how the episode ends. And it's just oh no, now this happens to She-Hulk, because her Hawk side just went on a rampage, basically. Okay, and now we've come to the last episode, episode 9. Episode 9, Whose Show Is This? I was not expecting the ending to it, in the middle of it, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't either. I mean, even though, this show has been doing a lot of breaking the fourth wall stuff, but what happens in this episode was unexpected. Episode 9, Whose Show Is This? Jen finds herself in trouble with the law and struggles to pick up the pieces of her life. There's a lot that happens in this. Not just one thing is, Jennifer, she has that thing on her leg, and which she can't turn into the Hulk anymore. Just say what happened to Emil. She does eventually go back to Emil's place, speaking of which. But there's something going on, and it's the Augustus Pug, the Augustus colony or whatever. And we find out there was one guy who appeared in I think one of the last 2 episodes named Todd Phelps, played by John Bass. He seemed like a weirdo, and even when he was on a date with Jennifer. And apparently turns out that he's the leader of this group, and of course he's responsible for Josh and getting the sample from Jennifer. He hired Josh to be with her and so on. Of course Emil happens to be there too. Even that explains that that's taking place at his location where he lives. Jennifer being there, and then a bunch of, Nikki was there too, and she was helping out as well, along with, what's his name? Dennis, he was, he was in that episode, but basically he was on the news, talking about what Jennifer was like when they used to date for a while. It gets really crazy. Titania shows up at one point as, even when, say, hold on, I almost lost him. Todd, he uses, like, the green blood, from the Hulk, like, injecting it to him, and he kind of turns into a Hulk as well. And as I said, Titania coming in, like, joining in the battle, I guess, yeah, helping out. And then Bruce, out of nowhere, jumps out, like, comes down from the ceiling, and, he mistakes Emil for, like, doing something to Jennifer, because Emil was saving Jennifer, and, they're about to, like, Bruce trying to fight Emil, and, you got it all wrong, as Emil says. But then, out of nowhere, this is the biggest break the fourth wall moment, where we just, out of nowhere, hit on Disney Plus, and Jennifer, like, we see her at the Walt Disney Studios, and is meeting, and is, like, has a little talk with the writers of She-Hulk, and then is going to see Kevin Feige. And it's literally, when she arrives to Kevin Feige's office, Kevin is an AI, literally, with a red and green and blue eyes, that kind of AI kind of robot that, like, is on the ceiling or whatever. They have a little talk and such, and how to fix the ending to the season finale. And Jennifer wins the spot, of course, and there's a few mentionings of, say, like, I guess a Hulk movie, the X-Men, and I like the look that Jennifer gives, like, like, thank you, Jennifer, for mentioning that. So, well, okay, we already had Charles Xavier and Doctor Strange, so we've been kind of getting the X-Men. Mutants, for example, like Miss Marvel, she counts as a mutant, so, but it does, yeah, but the ending is pretty good, like, yeah, the colony and, like, Todd Phelps, like, he gets arrested, and, you think that Jennifer's going to, like, beat the crap out of him or something, but she transforms back to her normal self, and she's like, I'll see you in court. Daredevil, out of nowhere, like, falls to the ground, like, needed help, so, and then, of course, everybody's together, and, like, her and her family, the Walters, like, they're having dinner and such, like, outside the backyard, and Matt Murdock being there, too, because I guess it's obvious. Matt and Jennifer, they're officially a couple. So, and Bruce happens to show up because he came back from Sakaar, and we finally see his son. Yep, Bruce has a son. What was the name of the son again? I think it's his name, Sakaar. Yeah, Sakaar. Sakaar being played by Will I can't pronounce that word, the last word, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing it. But that's cool, like, who's the mother? I guess we'll find out soon, who knows. And one last scene where a news reporter interviews Jennifer before she's going back into her office, like, everything's good for her now, and now she could, of course, turn back into She-Hulk and so on. Like, one of the last words she gives is, she is both a hero and a lawyer. Of course, yeah. And then the end credit scene to this episode, Emil, of course, being back in jail, but then Wong, we get one last appearance of Wong. I guess he kind of offers Emil a place to stay or something. That doesn't set off the alarms when he leaves his cell. Oh, man, that was... What a great way to end that episode. There was a lot happening in episode 9, as I said, like, literally. There are no words to describe what the heck all of us had just watched. Am I right? But with all that being said, this has been my third and final part review of She-Hulk Eternity at Law. Definitely a 10 out of 10. What a great show this was. And I just don't get it. Like, there are those that do not like this show, but there are those like myself that do. My parents have enjoyed this show. I just don't get it. And I look forward to when Jennifer / She-Hulk returns. Like, it's a possibility. Hey, now that she and Matt Murdock, they're a couple, maybe there's a possibility she could appear in the next Daredevil series, Born Again. So, and of course, in the next upcoming Marvel films, we'll just have to wait and see. And what about you guys? What did you think of She-Hulk, Eternity at Law? And hey, I don't see why not. Let's hope there will be a season 2, because this was great. I want to see more of this show. Yeah. And let's just see who else they can, like have guest star on the show. You know what I'm saying? We've had Daredevil, Wong. We may see them again. Who knows? But who else can guest star in this show? We'll just have to wait and see. So with that being said, again, 10 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of She-Hulk, Eternity at Law. More reviews coming your way. They're gonna be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And until the next MCU Disney Plus series, take care, peace out, and Avengers Assemble.